Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Greg Bassett, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. It's election season in Salisbury. We're continuing our interviews with city council election candidates, and today we have from District 1, April Jackson. Welcome, April.
Hi, good morning.
So you're the incumbent. You've been on the council for 4 years now?
Yes.
And how's that going? How do you like it?
Love it. Love it. I really love it. I'm glad I took that stance to become a city council representative for District 1. And working with the council and the mayor has been just wonderful.
I watch these meetings, and you bring some levity to the meetings, as well as some great insight.
Yes, I do. I bring whatever it is of the concerns of the citizens or my constituents from District 1. And also from other districts, because I get calls from people who are not even in my district. So what we do is we converse with that district leader and we have conversations about it, and then we go from there. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about District 1 a little bit. It's the minority-majority district in Salisbury. It's the west side, North Camden. It's a very unique neighborhood district.
Yes, it is. Very unique. As to, I go from the west side of Salisbury, which goes up to, and it's really crazy because one side of West Road is not my district, it's the county, and on the other side it is, but then I go from Delaware Avenue, from Fitzwater Street, and when you get up to West Isabella and Delaware Avenue, you cross over to West Road. When you get to West Road, I just have Westbrook Commons, and the townhouse is actually on the corner of Booth and West Road.
Right.
I have the Lake Street area up to, from Route 50 up to Collins Street. And then on the right-hand side, I have Johnson's Pond, I have the Joseph House, and then I have Lakeview Senior Homes. Up 50, I have Gateway, Senior Development, and that's it there. Then I go on the south side of Salisbury, and then I have like Division, South Division, Vine, Washington Street.
That President's neighborhood is yours, yeah.
Yes, I have that area. And then I have Camden Avenue and Newton Street, Smith Street, Maryland Avenue in that area. And I think I go to Camden Avenue up to North Boulevard. So it's a lot to encompass. It's a whole lot, and I've been conquering it.
Right. Yeah. Very heavy neighborhood-wise, very community-focused.
Yeah, it is. What I would say is the community is very involved, but I do see where a lot of people are afraid to speak out. So I'm here to be that voice for them, that voice of reason. You know, I'm that vehicle for them to get whatever it is they need in the community. I try to utilize my voice for that.
Yeah, I think voting turnout in the district is low, and I think it's because people aren't involved for some reason. They seem to be involved in the churches and the clubs, but they don't show up and vote maybe like they should.
Well, I know the last last 4 years when I did go out to campaign, a lot of people were really confused about who the representative was.
They don't even know where they live, what district they're in.
They don't know the districts that they live in. So I went on 90.3, which is Reverend Copeland's, Bishop Copeland's station.
And that's important to get to that audience.
Yeah, and I actually, gave them some of the sectors of where District 1 was. It was kind of confusing because it was kind of confusing for me because when you can remember just the west side of Salisbury being that minority-majority district, then you spread out to other places. Even we have the Eastern Shore Drive as part of our district as well. So it was a lot to encompass, and it's a lot for people to have to understand. And then what they don't understand is the difference between the county and the city. That's what they don't understand.
Right.
Because a lot of people think because they live in the county that they can still vote for the city
Right.
election. And I'm like, no, if you live in the county, you have to vote for the county. If you live in the city, you get to vote city and county.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's what it is, trying to get them to understand that part of it. But it's kind of hard for them because a lot of people say, well, I want your signs. And I do give signs out for people who live in the county because it is good representation. And I appreciate everything that they're trying to do. But then I try to get my signs more so in the city and in my district and in other areas where people can actually see them.
We've talked about this before. I'm a big admirer of your dad. I think he instilled in you community service. Park named for him, Billie Jean Jackson Park. Did you learn from him about serving the community? Because he did it. He did it so well.
Certainly. Yes, I did. I mean, I was with him a lot of times when he was serving the community. So I guess it was just a part of me that I loved. And I admire my dad for doing that. But one thing I don't want to do, he has a legacy, but I want my own legacy.
Right.
I want to do things, and I don't want to have to be, because a lot of people say, well, your dad did this and your dad did that. And he was a great man, and I loved him for it, and I loved him, and I still love him, even that he's deceased. But I do want to live my own legacy now. I do want to do what it is for the people, for myself, I mean, it's good to live his legacy out, but I do want to have my own legacy as well.
We have a mayor who seems to have a plan for everything.
Yes.
As someone described it to me, he's an excitable guy.
Yes, he is.
The council has to sort of, checks and balances on the executive department and work with him. What's it like in your role working with a mayor like that?
Wonderful. He's not a hard guy to get along with. Matter of fact, none of them on our council. I think we have a very cohesive relationship.
I miss the old days when you all were yelling at each other.
No, we don't want that because
as a reporter, we want to write that stuff down.
No, we want to leave a legacy of our council as being one of the most cohesive and more considerate councils. We don't want our kids in our community and our citizens to see us at wit's end. And we don't, we agree to disagree, but we come to a consensus that whatever is right for the people. And it's not about us. We do not come with our own personal agendas, because I monitor things and I watch things. And I watch whether people have personal agendas, and it's not about personal agendas with us at all. It's about the representation of our whole entire city.
What do you want to accomplish in your next term if you get reelected?
Well, I do want, one thing is economic development. I'm very concerned about that because when we have economic development and we bring our businesses and our industrial businesses and technical businesses in, revenue for the city, that's one thing I do want to tackle because jobs are very, very important. And not only the job, the wages that these jobs will pay is very vital for our community because 1010 is the minimum wage. It's not enough for a family to suffice and take care of their family and do the things that a family would like to. It's a struggle because I see most of the people in my district working 2 and 3 jobs, trying to make ends meet. And that causes a big problem because if you're working 2 or 3 jobs, who's home with the kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's helping with the children? And it's difficult for you to have to pay a sitter to watch your kids because you're trying to put pieces together. So that's my main focus. And then there's the blight property that I've seen in my district, and I can't speak for anyone else's district, but as I go through my community and as I have gone through my community walking and campaigning, I've seen a number of blight and abandoned properties, and I want to see those properties rehabbed. I want to see them rehabbed. I want to see people living in those houses because when you go knocking on doors and you're knocking on more abandoned properties than you're knocking on residential properties where people actually live, that's a problem in the city.
Are you seeing progress, though, in the West Side?
Yes, I do see progress, but there's a need for more. There's a need for more. I just think that focusing on downtown has deterred some of our focus on
Right.
some of the other districts. But I just think that we have grown. We do see some progress, but not as much as I want to see. No.
But I'm glad you said it that way, because this is a theme question I've been asking everyone, because I hear this all the time. There's too much focus on downtown and not enough on the neighborhoods, as if we can't do both.
I understand that the downtown area is the main focus for tourists and should be the main focus for the constituents and the residents in the city. But I also feel as though if your other districts are not up to par, people have to travel through those districts and they see those eyesores. So I just want to see some things happen in our in each district that is applicable to what's going on in the city, in the downtown area.
You had a personal altercation, a social situation that you talked about, and I think maybe it's kind of transformed you and made you think about things differently. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, it's I was put in a situation that I'm not going to say I shouldn't have been in, because it was my event that I was hosting at the Billie Jean Jackson Park that
At
day.
your dad's park?
Yes, but it's taught me to be humble. And at that particular time, I had to be humble. But I also, it was something, I'm going to tell you, it was nerve-wracking for a long time. It bothered me for a long time, because that's not me. That's not the person that I want to be. And that's not the person that I would like to be, So it was kind of hard for me for a long time. I dealt with that until we went to trial. But in the act of even in trial, in the trial and after the trial, I told the young lady that I don't have any malice, discontent in my heart for you. And I love you regardless, of the disrespect, because I can say myself, I would never disrespect my elder like that, never. And it was hurtful. It was very hurtful. But I've gotten past it. And I've grown a lot to know that sometimes things you have to avoid. I'm not going to say if that was avoidable, because there were children.
Yeah.
There were younger children out there, and I was trying to keep the peace. That's all I was trying to do, was keep the peace. But other than that, everything worked out for the good, and her and I are very good. We work together. We have a great grandson together. And,
Okay, great.
Yes, we have a great grandson together. And her and I, we communicate, and we, help with the great grandson. And that's the way it should have been in the beginning. So I'm just so thankful that we can be on the same terms now, on good terms.
I'm a spectator for these city council meetings on PAC 14. I watch all of them. I really enjoy them. And one of my favorite moments in every meeting, it seems like, that Jack Heath, the council president, will call on you for something, and you always have a great answer.
Yeah, well, a lot of times I do, and a lot of times I just sit back. But when it has something to do with something that is very important and very vital for my district or for the entire city, then I speak up. I do say, give my little spin on things. Jack does that. He always looks. I notice how he looks down and says, "April, how do you feel?" And a lot of times, because we discuss these things in work sessions before we come to our meeting, it's already etched in stone.
Right.
So all we do is, if we have, especially in our work sessions, if we have anything to say, then that's the time to say it. When we get to our meetings, like I said, it's already etched in stone. We're going for it. Now, there's been times when I didn't. There's been times when I went to the city council with the work session, and I may have said yay, and by the time I got to the meeting, nay.
Well, and that's what I see happening. Like, they'll be on this track, and they're go, 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 and then you'll go, has anyone thought about this?
Yeah.
And then they'll go, oh, wait, oh, no, okay.
Yeah.
But it gets them to think, and then they sort it out. So there's a good role there.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, and then, sometimes when you're in your work session and you go home and you think about things, because you read your agendas and everything, your ordinances and whatever. And then when you get home, you be like, no, that's not how it should be. Or I think something should be a little different, and then you put your little spin on it. But other than that, those work sessions work for us. They really do. We asked a lot of questions. We get to the point. And And the mayor is really helpful, and our attorney is very helpful with different situations that we don't quite understand, or if there's something that we need to know. Mark Tillman is very, very instrumental in helping us with that. And then we have our administrator, and then we have our deputy administrator. So they're very vital in the part of helping with, our decisions as well. Even right down to the mayor. He even gets into something we don't understand. He may explain it to us, during our work sessions, and when we come to our meetings, we're on fire.
Tax rates have stayed the same.
Yes.
But people complain to me all the time about the rising sewer and water fees. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, they went up 4%, but we wanted to take them up 8%, and I'm like, no. Please.
Yeah, you did stop that.
No. I'm like, no, we can't do that, because as talking and speaking to the landlords and speaking to the realtors, if you have property and people are renting, the renters were going to take that hit.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want that big hit for my district. I didn't want it for the entire city, for real, but especially my district, because something my district is very few homeowners. I have single parents, and I have a lot of elderly. So that would have, kind of crushed them, especially the seniors, when they're trying to choose whether they're going to pay rent, buy food, or, medical attention.
Right.
So it was kind of crucial for me. I had to really put my irons in the fire, and I'm like, no, I won't support this. I won't support this 8% increase. No, I won't support it, because it may be vital for the city, but it's going to hurt a lot of people.
And what they're going to do is spread it out over
Yeah,
more
they're going to
time.
spread it out.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. They are. We are going to spread it out.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing, because I'm going to tell you, even with the infrastructure and everything that's going on around the city and the bike lanes,
Yes.
everybody's like, I don't like this, but they don't realize that it's Maryland mandated, and you have American Disability Acts. You have a whole lot of things
Sure.
coming into play. And what I wanted to explain to a lot of them is, just like you have lanes for car vehicles,
Yeah.
you have lanes, you have crosswalks for pedestrians, you have lanes for bicycles. It's a safety net. It's a safety issue for everyone. And what has happened is, because over the years, the infrastructure, the roads had nothing going on.
Right.
None of things. And I really believe that if it had happened gradually, it wouldn't be such a culture shock. It's a culture shock for everything, because it is rapidly happening to them, and people are not able to get adjusted. Because I'm going to say myself, coming down Waverly Drive, and they had the 2 turn lanes where you turn left, I still get in that.
Sure, the right lane.
In the right lane.
Or the center lane, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm in the wrong lane. And
Yeah.
I did it a couple of times, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so used to this. And now I have to stay focused to the sign up above me to make sure that I get in the right lane. I've got it right here so
Right.
far. But it's different, because when people don't like when change comes all at once. And
Yeah, there's a thing called progress. There's a thing called the future.
Yes. And we didn't have that progress going on. And thanks to the governor and the state of Maryland, we have gotten funds and monies to do our roads, and we should appreciate it, because our roads were like 60 years behind time.
Right.
60 years.
How can people get a hold of you, find out more about your campaign?
Well, I have April Jackson for the number 4 City Council at gmail.com. And at this particular time, you can call me, but my phone is missing. And my phone number is 410-726-8478. And I'm going to even give you my home phone number, because it doesn't really matter. My home phone number is 410-749-4356. And I will let you know when I get my phone. I'm going to Verizon as soon as I leave here to
Well,
see if I can
you still have a landline.
Yes, yes. And you know what? And I said that on Facebook last night. I said, and yes, I do still have a landline, and I will keep it. My father always told me, make sure you keep a landline. Make sure you keep a landline. And for these same reasons, losing my cell phone is the reason why I will continue to keep my landline and other emergency situations.
She's April Jackson. She's a City Council District 1. She's running for re-election. We're thrilled that she was here today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Greg.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. Another special election edition of 101 right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and one-on-one. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.
You can find all of our election coverage on the PAC 14 YouTube page.